Auburn University has a good news. Their spending has resulted in new buildings on the campus, such as a $74 million recreation center and a $51 million dorm.
An Israeli airstrike on a Hamas commander has a bad news. The investigation found that it unintentionally caused the deaths of many civilians. The killing of hostages by Israeli forces was preventable, according to a military probe.
Dave Chappelle has a good news. Despite controversies, he has sold more tickets in the past year than any other comedian and is planning to open his own comedy clubs.
The Marines' transformation to take on China has mixed opinions on its readiness for other challenges.
China's leader Xi is looking to the past for a more uncertain future.
The Dow and S&P 500 closed higher, poised for a ninth consecutive week of gains. Biden is struggling to push trade deals with allies as the election approaches.
Apple is facing challenges in creating an All-in-One health wearable.
The University of Wisconsin-La Crosse fired its chancellor after the discovery of porn videos involving him and his wife.
Nikki Haley clarified that the Civil War was indeed about slavery after facing criticism for omitting it.
Chinese smartphone rivals Huawei and Xiaomi are overtaking Apple in the car industry.
Electric vehicles are losing steam with U.S. buyers, as shown by charts.
Apps TechCrunch lists their favorite apps of 2023. No specific company mentioned. Blue Sky introduces an in-app video and music player and a new hide post feature.
Blue Sky is enhancing the user experience on their social network by adding new and useful features.
The eternal struggle between open source and proprietary software, neutral. AI Giga ML wants to help companies deploy LLMs offline. Good news. AI Giga ML aims to assist companies in deploying large language models, LLMs, offline, which can enhance data privacy and reduce reliance on internet connectivity.
More than 40 investors share their top predictions for 2024. No specific company mentioned. Canva's new AI core is changing its business. Good news. Canva's integration of generative AI technology is expected to boost user growth and revenue generation. The New York Times wants OpenAI and Microsoft to pay for training data. Bad news. The New York Times is suing OpenAI and Microsoft for allegedly violating copyright law by using Times content to train AI models. Beware AI's hidden costs before they bankrupt innovation. Bad news. The adoption of AI technology can lead to technical debt, hindering innovation, and potentially causing financial strain.
Sequana Medical has submitted a pre-market approval application to the U.S. FDA for Alpha Pump, a device designed for patients with recurrent or refractory ascites caused by liver cirrhosis. The Alpha Pump is a fully implantable device that can be wirelessly charged.
Innovent Biologics, Inc. and Sanogene Bio USA, Inc. have formed a partnership to jointly develop SGB 3908, which is a drug candidate aimed at treating hypertension. SGB 3908 specifically targets angiotensinogen, a protein involved in regulating blood pressure. This collaboration between the two companies holds promise for the development of an effective siRNA drug that could potentially provide a new treatment option for individuals with hypertension.
Elpitience Biopharma, Ltd., and Astellas Pharma, Inc. have entered into a research collaboration and license agreement for the development of novel bispecific macrophage engagers. The agreement includes the collaboration on two programs, namely ES0119 and another undisclosed program. This collaboration is expected to lead to the development of innovative therapies that can engage macrophages, a type of immune cell, in targeting and treating various diseases. It signifies a positive step in the advancement of biomedical research and the potential for future medical breakthroughs.
InnoCare has good news because their CEO, Dr. Jasmine Cui, will be presenting at the 42nd Annual J.P. Morgan Healthcare Conference. The conference will provide an opportunity for InnoCare to update attendees on their latest developments in the pharmaceutical industry. Innovent Biologics, Inc. and Sanogene Bio USA, Inc. have formed a partnership to jointly develop SGB 3908, which is a drug candidate aimed at treating hypertension. SGB 3908 specifically targets angiotensinogen, a protein involved in regulating blood pressure. This collaboration between the two companies holds promise for the development of an effective siRNA drug that could potentially provide a new treatment option for individuals with hypertension.
Everest Medicines has received good news as the Taiwan Food and Drug Administration has accepted their new drug application for Nefecon. Nefecon is being reviewed for its potential use in treating primary immunoglobulin A nephropathy in adult patients. This is a positive development for Everest Medicines as it marks progress in the regulatory process and brings them closer to potentially offering a new treatment option for patients with this condition. Callaway Biopharmaceuticals has a good news because they will be presenting at the 25th IMCAS World Congress in Paris, France. The company will be sharing the results of their Phase 2 study on CBL-5114, a treatment for subcutaneous fat reduction. This is an exciting development in the field of aesthetics and may offer new options for individuals seeking to reduce unwanted fat deposits under the skin.
PharmaBlock Sciences, Inc. has announced the opening of a new high-potency API GMP facility at its Zhejiang manufacturing site. This is good news because it allows the company to further enhance its capabilities in producing high-potency active pharmaceutical ingredients, APIs, in a compliant and controlled environment. The facility will ensure the company's ability to meet the strict regulations and quality standards required for manufacturing APIs used in the pharmaceutical industry. Lilly has good news because they have successfully completed the acquisition of Point Biopharma Global, Inc. Point Biopharma is a radiopharmaceutical company that is focused on developing radioligand therapies for cancer treatment. These therapies are designed to target specific molecules in cancer cells and deliver radiation directly to them, which can help to destroy the cancer cells. This acquisition allows Lilly to expand its portfolio of cancer treatments and further advance their development and availability to patients.
Calliditas Therapeutics AB, a pharmaceutical company, has secured a term loan worth €92 million from Ethereum Capital Management LP. This financial arrangement will help Calliditas refinance an existing loan and obtain funds for its operations.
ImpriMed builds AI-powered dog cancer treatment technology. Good news. The California-based startup is developing AI technology for canine and feline cancer treatment, which can potentially improve veterinary care. ImpriMed builds AI-powered dog cancer treatment technology. Good news. The California-based startup is developing AI technology for canine and feline cancer treatment, which can potentially improve veterinary care.
Apple Watch Series 9 sales halted over patent dispute. Bad news. Apple has officially stopped selling its Watch Series 9 due to a patent dispute, which can negatively impact the company's sales and market presence.
Valley investors target cows' methane burps in fight against climate change. Good news. Investors are working on reducing methane emissions from cows, which can contribute to mitigating climate change.
Cogita raises $86 million Series B to compete with Anchor Store in Europe. Good news. The wholesale marketplace has secured a significant funding round, enabling it to compete and expand in the European market.
First Cry is seeking to raise $218 million in its India IPO, which is good news for the company as it signifies its growth and expansion plans.
Etsy's layoffs are not surprising and indicate a challenging situation for the company. A viral tweet highlighted its struggle with the quality of products being sold on the platform. The EU's provisional deal on gig worker rights failed to gain sufficient backing from member states, which is bad news for precarious gig workers as it delays the establishment of better rights for them.
HomeCooks raised $3.2 million in seed funding, positioning itself as the Etsy of food. This is good news as it indicates investor confidence in the platform and its potential for growth.
MaxAB and Wasoko, two of Africa's largest B2B e-commerce platforms, are in talks to merge operations. This is good news for both companies as it presents an opportunity for expansion and increased market dominance.
Crypto India plans to block crypto exchanges Binance and Kraken's websites. This is seen as bad news for the exchanges as it restricts their access and potential user base in India.
The NFT industry is facing criticism, but there is optimism that NFTs can survive and retain value due to the supportive communities driving them.
Hackers stole $2 billion in crypto in 2023, indicating a downward trend compared to previous years. But it is still a significant threat to the crypto industry. Archon Energy secures $110 million in funding to expand its Bitcoin mining capacity and launch an AI cloud service, which is positive news for the company's growth plans. Dog-themed meme coins are gaining popularity among investors, suggesting a positive sentiment and potential return to favor. One Biden has a good news. Their administration extended a temporary measure to suspend Trump-era tariffs on European steel and aluminum for 2 more years. 2. The Misery Index suggests that Americans shouldn't be all that miserable, which is a good news. 3. Cities across the country are trying to meet housing demand and curtail soaring housing costs by changing zoning, which is a good news. 4. Inflation could be back in central banks' comfort zones by the end of 2024 after multi-decade highs in North America and Europe, which is a good news.
5. Americans who would traditionally be homeowners are instead renting, sparking new kinds of neighborhoods and changing savings patterns, which can be seen as either good or bad news depending on one's perspective. 6. Prices fell in November for the first time since 2020, which is a good news.
7. A measure of consumer sentiment rose 14% to a 5-month high in December as households brought down their expectations for inflation next year, which is a good news.
Markets coverage has good news. The S&P 500 is just shy of a new record.
Fintech's biggest hits and misses of 2023. This article is a summary of major fintech stories of the year. No specific company news mentioned.
Brex raises $125 million to help businesses power workplace savings programs. Vestwell, a company that provides infrastructure for workplace savings programs, raised $125 million in funding. Good news for Vestwell as they secure a significant amount of funds to support their operations.
Salesforce acquires automated commission management platform Spiff. Salesforce announced plans to acquire Spiff, a platform that automates commission management for sales teams. No specific details about the deal were disclosed.
Tamara tops $1 valuation in $314 Series C funding. Tamara, a buy now, pay later platform, raised $340 million in funding, valuing the company at $1 billion. Good news for Tamara as they secure a significant valuation and funds to support their expansion.
Fintech's wild ride in 2023, an overview of the hottest fintech news of the previous week. No specific company news mentioned.
Startup's GigaML wants to help companies deploy LLMs offline. Good news. The startup aims to assist companies in deploying LLMs offline, which can be beneficial for organizations that have limited internet connectivity or data privacy concerns. More than 40 investors share their top predictions for 2024. Neutral news. The article discusses predictions and expectations for 2024 from various investors, but it does not specifically mention any company.
A look back at some of the promises made by companies and investors following the Black Lives Matter protests of 2020. Neutral news. The article reflects on the commitments made by companies and investors regarding diversity after the Black Lives Matter protests, but it does not specify whether the promises were fulfilled or not. What the demise of superpedestrian means for the e-scooter industry. Bad news. The CEO of Superpedestrian announced the company's plans for fresh funding in a merger, indicating positive developments. However, the article refers to a meeting held before Thanksgiving, where it was stated that the company's management would make an announcement suggesting potential issues or uncertainties.
Why Australia is ripe for VC. Good news. The article suggests that the addition of new technology sectors in Australia could attract necessary capital and foster a more inclusive environment, making it an appealing market for venture capital. More than 40 investors share their top predictions for 2024. Good news for the venture capital industry, as more than 40 investors share their predictions and expectations for 2024, indicating a positive outlook for future investments.
3 years after BLM, Here's who stuck to their diversity commitments. The article examines which companies and investors followed through with their diversity commitments made following the Black Lives Matter protests in 2020. It highlights the importance of diversity and inclusion in the business world.
Why Australia is ripe for VC. The addition of new technology sectors in Australia makes it an attractive destination for venture capital investments. This suggests potential opportunities for investors looking to expand their portfolios. The Australian VC firm that sponsored California's diversity bill, F5 Collective, an Australian VC firm, aims to create generational change for women across India, Southeast Asia, and Australia. This demonstrates a positive commitment to diversity and inclusivity in the investment industry.
Australia's climate tech industry is booming, but it could bust without funds. While the climate tech industry in Australia is experiencing growth, there is a concern that lack of funding could lead to its decline. This indicates a potential risk for investors in this sector.